Did you know that the UK has a new visa that lets you live and work in the UK? And the best part is that you don't need a company to sponsor your visa to qualify. So for anyone out there who has had their heart set on the UK, and I know there's a lot of you out there, I've got some good news for you. Well, good news for some of you, those that will qualify for this very new visa. So in May 2022, the UK Home Office launched this very new HPI Visa, and that stands for the High Potential Individual Visa. Now, this is really exciting because the UK is notoriously difficult for foreigners to be able to get a visa to live there, especially US citizens. So I'm gonna go over what this visa is, who can qualify, how you qualify, and how you can apply. Are you ready? Let's dive in. All right, taking it from the top, what is the HPI visa? Well, this visa was created to attract highly skilled foreigners. So how exactly are they qualifying highly qualified? Well, you are considered highly qualified if you have graduated from one of the universities that's on the eligible universities list. And we'll talk about those universities in just a moment. So let's talk about why I love this visa. So as I mentioned, the UK is very hard for US citizens and other nationalities to move to because there just aren't that many viable visa options out there. Typically, the easiest way into the UK is to study at a university there and then take advantage of the network you have built and also the graduate visa that the UK offers. So the graduate visa is for people who have graduated from university in the UK, and it just gives you permission to stay there for up to 2 years to look for work. But of course, not everybody wants to or can study in the UK. So other than going to school in the UK, the other option for most people has been a work visa. But of course, that isn't an option for a lot of people because going down the work visa route, you need to find a UK-based company who is willing to sponsor your visa. And this is just really difficult. And a lot of these opportunities are just limited to specific roles and sectors. But let's get back to this HPI visa. And what I love is that you do not need a job offer to qualify for this visa. So with this visa, you can easily come to the UK and look for work. And you can actually work in most roles. So it's not going to be limited to certain sectors and roles as I mentioned before. And get this, you can also qualify for this visa if you are self-employed. So yes, you don't even have to find a job in the UK in order to qualify. You can come with your own job, with your own company that you already have. And what I love about this is that partners and children can also come as dependents. So, how long can you live in the UK on the HPI visa? So the HPI visa is issued from 2 to 3 years maximum, and it depends on what kind of degree you have. If you have a PhD, you can qualify for 3 years. If you have a master's or a bachelor's degree, it will be a 2-year visa. If you want to stay in the UK longer, you cannot extend or renew this visa. You will have to switch to a different visa, but you may be able to qualify for the critical skills permit, which is kind of like a highly qualified visa for people who are looking for work in the UK. So who is eligible to apply for this HPI visa? Well, I will start by saying this visa is not for everyone. So the main qualification for this visa is that you have to have graduated from one of the eligible universities. So UK universities are not eligible. The eligible universities on the list are all located outside of the UK, and there's a lot of them actually located in the US. I'll be going over those universities in just a bit. Now, you will have to have your university degree validated or just check to see that it meets the requirements, and so that means you're going to have to submit it to an organization in the UK called ECDIS. Other requirements for this visa is that you need to have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or a PhD degree. Now, you also have to have graduated from one of these eligible universities in the last 5 years. So I know some of you may see your university on the list, but if it has been more than 5 years since you graduated, you are not eligible for this visa. You also need to be proficient in English and also show that you have enough funds to financially support yourself while you're in the UK. That figure isn't very high. It is £1,270. All right, so let's get to what you've been waiting for, and that is what universities qualify for the HPI visa. The list of eligible universities is updated every year, but it's basically comprised of the top 50 universities that show up on at least 2 of these world rankings for universities. So when it comes to names of universities that qualify, I can't go through all of them here in this video because there's just too many. But I'll drop a few of some top US universities, but just know that the list is not limited to just universities in the US. There are also universities in Asia and Europe that qualify as well. I'll drop a link below where you can find all the information on which universities qualify. So just some of the top universities in the US that qualify are Caltech, the University of Texas, Columbia University, Johns Hopkins, Princeton University, and Yale. Again, be sure to check out the full list. You can find the link below. Now let's talk about how can you apply for the HPI visa. So applying is pretty easy. If you are outside of the UK, you'll just apply online from outside of the UK. If you're in the UK on a different visa, you might be able to switch visas, and in this case, you would be applying from within the UK. You're probably wondering, how long does it take to actually get the HPI visa? Once you've applied and submitted all your documents, it's actually a pretty quick process. So if you're applying from outside of the UK, you're gonna get an answer within 3 weeks. Isn't that crazy? And if you're in the UK and changing visas, you're going to get an answer within 8 weeks, which is still pretty fast. So before we move on to how much it costs to apply for this visa, I just want to see who's watching out there and if you are eligible for this visa. If you are eligible, write eligible in the comments below. And if you are not eligible for this visa, write not eligible in the comments. So, how much does it cost to apply for the HPI visa? So first off, you're gonna have to pay £210 to that organization that I mentioned earlier, ECTIS, who will check and see if your university degree qualifies and is valid for this visa. The actual application fee for the HPI visa is going to be £715. You'll also need to pay a healthcare surcharge, and this is going to be £624 per year that you are in the UK on this visa. So again, if you've done a bachelor or master's degree, you can be issued this visa for 2 years. If you've done a PhD or doctorate, that'll be 3 years. And last but not least, as I mentioned, you do need to show that you have money to support yourself when you arrive to the UK, and that amount is £1,270. All right, if you have any questions, let me know below. And if you've made it this far, just want to introduce myself. My name is Cepee, rhymes with peppy, from SheHitRefresh.com, and I teach women age 30 and over how to move abroad sooner rather than never. I myself made a move from Texas to Spain in 2015 when I was 35 years old. I'll let you do the math. And I have to say it was the best decision of my 30s. 8 years later, I am still here loving my life. And if you need more resources to help you with your own move, please check out my digital book, I'm Outta Here, an American's ultimate visa guide to living in Europe, where I break down the 18 easiest countries to move to in Europe based on over 50 viable visa options. You can find the link below. And also, if you're a woman age 30 and over, please join my next Move Abroad After 30 masterclass and join my free Facebook community. Both links you can find below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, turn on notifications, and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any future Move Abroad content.